3CR program broadcasting quality performance of music and the spoken word.
You're listening to Melbourne's Community Radio, 837 3CR.
Continuing our interview with poet-performer Daevid Allen. His rave wanders in the time of tripping middle-class minstrels. His undefinable band Soft Machine, the generosity of Jimmy Hendrix, and wow, David sums it up.
Oh God, man, where are you?
Okay, how did you get from there to when in 1965 you were commissioned by the BBC to do something and you did The Switch Doctor?
Well, it happened because in Morris and Daya, I met a guy called Kevin Ayers, who's now sort of relatively well-known pop star, but at that time was just a wandering kind of gypsy minstrel, and he and I wrote a bunch of stuff, and we started this band called Soft Machine. And this surfaced in England about the time of the psychedelic revolution, when we'd all had access to LSD for about 2 years at this point, but it hit the public in a big way in 1967, and there became this kind of psychedelic time when all the big psychedelic venues opened, light shows came into vogue, Hendrix showed up. We had the same manager as Jimmy Hendrix. And well, we had our own thing in London called the London Pop Poets, and they had the Liverpool scene, and Julie and I were basically staffing that.
Well, when you hit the public, you actually had that big hit single, didn't you? Love Makes Sweet Music.
That's right, yeah, it got to number 5, and it was the time of Radio Caroline and on Pirate Radio. It was a very exciting time. We were all convinced we were big stars.
And did you get much airplay on Radio Caroline, did you know?
Oh, all the time, yeah. Mind you, see, we had Jimi Hendrix's manager was, what was his name? Was Chaz Chandler, who'd been the bass player of the Animals, and they were really plugging us and Hendrix simultaneously. We even shared the same space, rehearsal space, and that's how I got to know Hendrix himself pretty well, and we'd hang out together before he got famous. Fantastic. He would lend me his guitar. He once called a taxi across London and brought me a guitar because mine got ripped off while everyone was waiting for us to go on. He jumped in this taxi and brought me this guitar. Of course, it was a left-handed guitar, and I was right-handed. So I had to restring it, and I finally got so pissed off that I smashed it on the stage in the last number, and everyone thought this was great for part of the act. I was doing a Pete Townsend or something or other, but he ruined his guitar. He didn't give it down. He thought it was great. He was getting the guitars free anyway. But he was he was very shy, very sweet guy, totally unconscious of race kind of problems. We used to play chess a lot together and just hang out, you know. It was an interesting time. The more famous he got, though, the more I lost contact with him, of course, because the Soft Machine, Pink Floyd was another band that became very big too, and yet at the beginning Soft Machine, we were all playing in the same area, but Soft Machine stayed underground. It was just too freaky. It was too... It could not be categorised. There was too many different styles happening simultaneously, and that characterises what I've always tried to do. Thank God, because I mean, if you get picked up by the fashion to a big enough degree, it gets very dangerous. But Sid Barrett was the male guitar player, and he was the one that
Sid Barrett, C.M. Run, careful with that, Eugene.
That's right. Well, Sid Barrett and I were the respective guitar players in the two bands, and we were always playing opposite each other, so we'd have these mad staring matches where we'd just sit down and stare at each other dementedly for 20 minutes at a time, and then swap too many words. I remember he's terribly embarrassed on stage, but that's where I learned my glissando guitar technique from.
Life gets stronger, put on my eyes, look out to see what's going on. But that's alright, the thing's not how the sound system holds We'll still win. and I'm still sleeping and creeping and smiling like a lady on the street. And now she's taller and getting smaller and taller and I didn't even know it. The bed gets longer and all our eyes look out to see what's going on. The girl's still weeping and I'm still creeping and sleeping and smiling like a lady on the tree.